Welcome back to Scotties Hobbies. I often get asked, can I change my oil at home or do my own oil change in my vehicle, or should I take it to the dealership or to a quick lube center or such? Well, this is something that most DIY hobbyists can handle at home. It's fairly easy. I think doing your brakes is just as easy as doing an oil change, honestly, if you have the right guidance and the right tools to get the job done. I have been hearing that oil changes at dealerships lately are like around $200, which is like absolutely crazy. So this is a Nissan Murano that I'm going to be changing the oil on today, and I'm going to show you guys pretty much how you could change the oil on any vehicle with like a generic video. So stay tuned, like, subscribe, and share. Hit that like button right now, please, before we get going too far. I'm going to show you pretty much everything that you'll need to get the job done and give you some tips and tricks along the way if I find any that I think I would be important to you guys. So let's get going. First off, make sure you have the correct oil for your vehicle. This vehicle takes 0.20. The drain plug, I already looked, it's a 14 millimeter. If you really want to do a spectacular oil change, you could use a torque wrench to tighten up the drain plug when you're all done. I always replace the drain plug gasket or O-ring as a crush washer. Usually when you get your oil filter from the factory, it comes with a new crush washer or gasket or seal, whatever it is called. I'm using a Wix filter, so if you don't get your factory filter, always get a Wix filter. It's the best out there. And also, if you look at your under hood label right here, this lets you know what oil to use on your vehicle. Not all vehicles have this, but most newer modern vehicles have it. When you're all done with the oil change, you want to top off the fluids. You're going to check your washer fluid. When your vehicle is nice and cold, don't open this when it's hot, but make sure your radiator or your coolant antifreeze is nice, full, topped off. Your power steering fluid, make sure that's topped off, and just make sure everything is good. You got your brake fluid over there, all that. It's just everything should be topped off. Power steering fluid, what is this one? This one is, oh, this is your coolant reservoir. Make sure your coolant reservoir is topped off as well. Before you get going, before you go take your drain plug off, make sure that your filler cap could come loose. It'd be the worst thing. This one's tight. It'd be super bad if you can't get your filler cap off and you drain your oil and you find out like, oh my god, I can't add oil. So always make sure your drain cap, filler cap comes off, and then find your dipstick. Pull your dipstick up just a little bit, just so you get all the air flowing into the engine while the oil is draining out. It just makes it happen a little bit faster. Also, check your air filter while you're in here too. This one's good, I just replaced it. Now, all you need to do is find your drain plug. You might have plastic on the bottom side of your vehicle. Now, under the vehicle, we have our catch can, drain pan. All we need to do is get under here and find the drain plug and your oil filter. You might have plastic covering anything right here, and on this vehicle you would have plastic covering the side, but take that off if you need to. Here you're going to find your drain plug, and then there's the oil filter. So all we're going to do is open the drain plug while it's draining. I'm going to go ahead and remove the oil filter, and we're going to do that real fast. On this Nissan Murano, it's a 14 millimeter on the drain plug. I usually wear gloves, just keeps you a little bit cleaner, a little bit easier. Now you might make a mess draining the oil. It might get up here on this subframe, so it'll be a good idea to clean everything off when you're done. So here on the drain plug is your crush washer. Let's see if I can get it off. Got the crush washer off. It was kind of a little pain in the butt to get it off. It was stuck on the threads, but crush washer is off. Sometimes it'll be stuck to the drain pan, so just make sure you get it off when you're changing your oil. I got my new crush washer. I buy these in multi-packs because I do change the oil pretty often. So I've got that ready to put on when it's all done. Now we're going to head on over here to the oil filter. Oil filter should be hand tight, might be a little bit tighter. If your oil filter is kind of tight, you could use some filter pliers like this to get a good grip. See if these are big enough. Yep. When you drain or when you remove your oil filter, it is going to get oil on this subframe right here. Oil filter off. Got my new Wix oil filter. Just going to get a little bit of oil and put it on the seal of the oil filter. When I put on my new oil filter, make sure it's not cross-threaded. If it's hard to go on at all, it's not right, and take it off and try again, start over again. Got a shop cloth, a dirty one, just so I get a good grip on the oil filter. When you install the oil filter, you just want to go hand tight. You don't want to go, they call it German torque specs, guden tight. All right, that's nice and tight. Wipe off the subframe where you can. And now we're ready to put the drain plug back in. Got the drain plug with the new gasket. Now if you don't have a torque wrench, you could tighten this down by hand, which obviously is okay, but it's real easy to strip these threads out and just cause yourself way more work. In that case, you could tap it with a little bit bigger thread and put a different size drain plug in, but I personally like to torque them all down. I usually torque them down to about 20 to 18 or 18 to 20 pounds. I have my torque wrench set to 20 pounds. Right there, that's it. Wipe everything off. Now there is a bunch of residual oil on this subframe right here. I'm going to use brake clean. Clean everything off, wipe it off as good as you can just so it doesn't smell like oil. Keep the wife happy. She's like, you did something wrong. So we'll avoid that. We're going to come back over here and get ready to add oil. You could use a bigger funnel if you like, but I like my little like at-home DIY funnels. I have an abundance of them. This vehicle calls for 0.20. Whenever oil is on sale, a good name brand, I'll usually go ahead and just buy a few of these gallons of, it's actually 1.25, 5 quarts of oil, so 0.20. See that? I still missed it a little bit. A taller funnel would probably do you a little bit better in this case. I believe this engine takes 5.5 quarts. Put my filler cap back on. Going to shut my dipstick for now to clean it off a little bit. Now that we have the oil in the engine, it's sealed up per se as of right now. First off, we're going to hop in the car, turn the engine on, come back over here, make sure there's no major leakage down there. So turn the vehicle on. After we do that, we are going to go get it on flat land and test or double check the fluid level. All right, so we got the engine running. You'll know within a minute if you're going to have any leaks. Take a gander at the bottom, and I don't see any leaks down here. So I'm going to get this thing on flat ground, and we're going to double check the oil level before we send this thing on its way. Really, this job so far has only taken about 15 to 20 minutes, and that's even making a video, which takes longer. So in a driveway, if I was focusing on this at home, here in the garage, either on my vehicles or helping somebody out, usually an oil change takes me about 15 to 20 minutes, and the job is done perfectly right. So don't hesitate to tackle this task on your own, please. Oh yeah, don't forget, like. Hit that like button right now, please. Let's get this thing on level ground and check the oil level and top off the fluids. Okay, so we got this thing on level ground. Now we are going to pull the dipstick out, double check the fluid level, and let me show you how I do that. Got a clean towel. Going to pull the dipstick out and wipe it off to see what I'm going to be looking at. So on this one, you have your high and your low. You want to make sure you're nearest the high and not over the high, which is full. I have to use a flashlight because I have the camera light all up in my face. Stick the dipstick all the way in to where the gasket closes completely. When you're checking the fluid level, you always want to make sure you hold the dipstick with the dipstick down, because if you hold it in the other way, it's going to make the oil travel up and give you a false reading. And that is actually pretty hard to read. Let's try it again. I either way overfilled this or it's really hard to read. It's actually really hard to read. It's right there, right at the full line. So this one's good to go. Now that we know that the oil is good to go, I'm not going to check the antifreeze and coolant right now because it's too hot. I will check it on a nice cool day or later when we're not driving this car for a few hours. But we're going to top off the washer fluid, especially in the wife's car. They love washer fluid. Check the power steering fluid. It's right in the crosshatch line, so this one's good. Actually could use a little bit of power steering fluid, but we'll top that off in a little bit. Check your brake fluid. This one's above the max line. Go ahead and pop the cap off to make sure. Yes, it is. I would check the air filter when I do an oil change, but we replace this air filter about every 15,000 miles, and I know it's good. We just changed it when we did the tune-up on it, so I'm not going to check that. You could check the battery terminals, make sure there's no major corrosion that's building up on the terminals, and you are pretty much good to go. If your vehicle has a oil maintenance reminder light, you could look up online. I think you can find almost all of them these days on how to reset that maintenance light. This Nissan Murano does. I am going to reset this one, but not all vehicles have the same procedure. So if your vehicle does have the maintenance light on the dash, make sure you go check out a video on that. If you have a vehicle and you're looking for one of those maintenance reset light videos, shoot me a comment below, and I will also go find a video for you and let you know. It might not be my video, but I'll find you a helpful video to get that reset. After you get all the fluids topped off like they would at a quick lube center or the dealership, you're all done, you're all set. Hopefully this video helped you out, and if it did, comment below with the year, make, and model of the vehicle that it did help you on. I appreciate you guys checking out Scotties Hobbies, and I will see you guys on the next hopefully helpful video.